Curious about the chakras? Want to know why this system has become so popular in the yoga space? I'm going to teach you chakra basics today, like where they came from, the 7 main energy centers, and most importantly, why they matter. If you haven't joined our yoga fam yet, click that subscribe button and bell to be notified every time I post a new video helping you practice yoga on and off your mat. Now, I've taught these same chakra basics at my in-person yoga retreats, which I dearly miss, COVID, inside the Body, Mind, Soul studio to our hundreds of members, and here on YouTube, so people like you can learn this life-changing system and then leverage it as a holistic therapeutic tool, which is what it's intended to offer you. And by the way, if you don't know already, I've got 2 widely loved and trusted chakra yoga series right here on my YouTube channel to continue your journey after watching this video. There's the 7-day chakra challenge and the Cleanse Your Chakra series. Both are linked in the description below. Now, let's dive into a brief introduction of the history. And these points or facts come from Wheels of Life, written by 𝗪𝗪𝗶𝗪, a book I highly recommend, by the way. And I like to start with the history because it's important for us to know where this system came from. The chakras are inextricably linked with the science and practice of yoga. And the origin of yoga and the earliest mention of the word chakra goes back to the Vedas, an ancient yogic text meaning knowledges. And this was around the 2000 BCE time frame. The word chakra translates to wheel, which is why we often see them depicted in circular-like shapes. The chakras are then mentioned again in another ancient yogic text called the Upanishads around the 500 BCE time range, and then again in the Yoga Sutras around 200 BCE. But they don't really arrive on the scene as a psychology and philosophy until the Tantra and Kundalini yoga branches come alive around 600 to 700 AD. You tracking with me? Then the chakras come to the West through a book called Serpent Power, written by Arthur Avalon in 1919. And this book translated tantric texts from the 10th and 15th centuries with really complex concepts. And this is when the chakras truly began their journey to becoming known and mainstream. And I, your yoga teacher and guide, have learned everything I know from studying with 𝗪𝗪𝗶𝗪 and recently Ashley Turner in my 300-hour yoga teacher training. Now, you don't need to remember anything I just said. There's no pop quiz at the end of this video, but it's so important, like I said, as yoga students and teachers, that we know where these incredible concepts, teachings, and practices derive from, especially because we're enjoying and benefiting from them. So tell me in the comments, are you a yoga student, yoga teacher, therapist of some kind, or coach? I'd love to know why you're here and why you're curious about the chakras like I've been all these years. I've literally been down a rabbit hole. Now, 𝗪𝗪𝗶𝗪, again, my teacher and one of the foremost chakra scholars, calls this system the architecture of the soul and that it's a template for transformation. I love that. Like yoga, which means to yoke, the chakra system is a bridge between universal polarities like heaven and earth, mind and body, yin and yang, masculine and feminine, moon and sun, Shiva and Shakti, Purusha and Prakriti, and liberation and manifestation, to name a few. There's many more polarities. And the chakra system provides us this beautiful map to return to our inherent wholeness, which is what so many of us are seeking, right? Myself included. Now, there are 7 main energy centers positioned vertically along your central axis or Sushumna Nadi. But for visual purposes, let's call it the spinal column, okay? They start at the base of the spine and then they climb to the crown of the head. And many people work from the bottom up, which is called the liberation current or mukti. But there's also the manifestation current, which I love, which works from the top down, called bhukti, and more on that in a future off the mat lesson. The chakras, they are part of your subtle body, or what's called the energetic or pranic body. And they really have 3 key responsibilities: receiving, digesting, and then expressing the energy we experience on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis. You can really think of them as the managers of your energy that are shaped by the internal and external experiences that you're having, both in this now, here, now moment and everything from your past as well. It's a lot of energy to process, right? Nowadays, the chakras are everywhere, right? There's crystals, stones, essential oils, jewelry, clothing, and the likes, which is incredible. I own a lot of it. But let us remember that this is a profound yoga psychology system that was intended for way more. Are you ready to meet each energy center? Let's dive in and do it together. Please meet the root chakra, Muladhara. This is the foundation of the whole system. The location is the base of the spine, specifically the coccyx or tailbone, but anything really having to do with the lower body. The element is earth, the color is red. This is your physical identity. Having is the activity, and it's your right to be here, belong, and have. The shadow or wound is fear, and the central purpose is stability, support, security, physical health and well-being, trust, and prosperity. Please meet the sacral chakra, Svadhisthana. Location is the lower abdomen, so think genitals, pelvis, and sacrum. The element is water, the color is orange. This is your emotional identity. Feeling is the activity, and it is your right to feel as well. The shadow or wound is guilt, and the overarching purpose here that we're working towards is emotional well-being and healthy sexuality. Please meet the solar plexus chakra, Manipura. One of my favorites. Located here at the navel center, you can really think between the navel and the sternum, 360 degrees. The element is fire. The color is yellow like the sun. This is your ego identity. Doing is the activity. It's your right to act. The wound or shadow is shame. And the purpose is power, will, strength, and self-esteem. Meet the heart chakra, Anahata. The location is the entire chest region, front, back, side to side. The element is air, so it's absolutely connected with your breath. The color is green. This is your social identity. Connecting is the activity. And this is your right to love and be loved. The shadow or wound is grief. And the overarching purpose is love, you could have guessed that, relationships, balance, and connection. Meet the throat chakra, the fifth one, Vishuddha. Location is the neck, the jaw, the tongue, and the ears. The element is sound. Other people say also that the element is ether. The color is bright blue. This is your creative identity. Speaking is the activity. It's your right to speak and be heard. The shadow or wound is lies, and the purpose here is clear communication, creativity, resonance, and listening. Meet the third eye chakra, Ajna, located between the brows. The element is light. The color is indigo. This is your archetypal identity or symbolism. Seeing is the activity, and it's also your right to see. And the shadow or wound here is illusions. The purpose and what we're working towards is clear seeing, clarity, intuition, imagination, and reflection. Finally, please meet the crown chakra, Sahasrara. Top of the head is the location. It's also connected to the central nervous system. The element is thought. The color is violet. This is your universal identity. Thinking is the activity. It's your right to understand, and the shadow or wound is attachments. The overarching purpose is awareness, spiritual connection, and integration. You've officially met the 7 centers of consciousness and now have a base understanding of the chakra system. But why does this system even matter, and how can it help you most importantly? Why know all of that information? Well, first, when you work with the chakra system, you're going to gain so much awareness, I promise, about your body, emotions, energy, relationships, perspectives, thoughts, and beliefs. And awareness is the first step on any path to create change. Carl Jung says, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So first step, we gotta know what's going on to create change. And through this developed awareness and then using specific exercises, you can begin to integrate and then transcend unconscious thoughts and unresolved emotions that are keeping you stuck and not evolving. We all know that feeling, don't we? And finally, the more we can digest, assimilate, and integrate our past and our habits, the more empowered and fulfilled we'll feel right now in this moment, which will help pave the way for us to evolve into that higher vision we hold for ourselves. Now, if you're new to this work, welcome. I've been studying and teaching it for years, and I continue to feel like a beginner here. You're not alone if you're feeling overwhelmed. It's a huge body of work, and I love it, and I'm positive you will learn to love it and learn from it and benefit from it like I have. To continue learning with me, download my Yoga Reset Guide, a 7-step journey through the chakra system to recenter your body, mind, and soul. The guide includes yoga asana classes, energy aligning exercises, chakra mantras and affirmations, and self-reflection journal prompts. It's an approachable, digestible way to begin working with the chakras today. Details to download the Yoga Reset Guide are in the description below. Now, if you enjoyed this off the mat lesson, give this video a like, share what you learned today in the comments. It's so important to participate so we can process all that information, and then join our yoga fam by hitting that subscribe button. Thank you for being here. And as always, like I say, now the real work begins. Taking your yoga off the mat or off the cushion, or in this case, off the screen, and into your daily life.